So with the previous symbiote leaving Detective Mulligan for dead, and Venom Let There Be Carnage, what'll ever become of it? All the answers of your questions will be answered today in this video. What's up? Spider-Man 101 here, and today we're going to be talking about what'll become of Sony's supervillain Spider-Man spin-offs in the future. So, as I mentioned to you all before, that it is mentioned that they are deciding to shut down the rest of the Spider-Man villain spin-offs that didn't do so well. And I have said that they should just release the ones that didn't do so well on Disney+. Because I am one of those people who would really love to see their stories continue. And Misfit J, shout out to you because I remember hearing that you're a Blade fan. So here's what I've decided to happen in a post-credit scene of Morbius 2. So I have decided that there is a post-credit scene where Wesley Snipes' Blade shows up and then he and Morbius interact with each other, and right before the screen goes black, they shake hands. And in Morbius 2, I've even decided for Morbius and Kraven to get together, so Morbius 2 would be titled Morbius and Kraven. And according to the post-credit scene, what will Morbius 3 be titled? Obviously, Morbius and Blade. And I have even decided that in the post-credit scene of Morbius and Blade, we see Morbius flying up to Glintar, the planet that Null is locked up in, and then he walks up to Null, and then Null lifts up his head, and he says, "Who goes there?" And then Morbius says, "Dr. Michael Morbius, at your service." And then Null goes, "What brings you to Glintar?" And then Morbius says, "I am here to give you your freedom." And then we see Morbius get out his vampire claws and then uses them to break Null free. And then Null asks, "So what shall we do now?" And then right before it goes black, Morbius says, "Let's have a little fun." So the post-credit scene in Morbius and Blade is actually going to lead down the pathway to Venom 4. And this indicates that Morbius is actually going to be one of the villains in Venom 4. And we'll see Morbius go face-to-face with Venom and possibly Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man as well, considering that this is the universe they probably take place in. And if you all remember in Venom The Last Dance, Dr. Teddy Payne mentions that Detective Mulligan's previous symbiote had left him for dead. So they saved his life by giving him a new symbiote. But why would Detective Mulligan's previous symbiote leave him for dead? Well, it is told by a lot of people that when the military force showed up at the cathedral, the symbiote was just too cowardly to stick around with Mulligan. So the symbiote just left him and fled the scene because it only wanted to survive. And it's even also mentioned by a lot of people too, that the reason why it only focused on itself is because this symbiote was pretty much just a newborn and didn't really know how to use its ability yet. And all of you may ask, who could this previous symbiote be that left Mulligan for dead? Well, I'm pretty sure that the symbiote that left Mulligan for dead is none other than Toxin. But you guys are now all thinking, wait a minute, isn't Toxin the one that they saved him with? Well, according to Marvel Comics, the Toxin symbiote is actually the grandson of the Venom symbiote. So the Toxin that they saved Mulligan with is probably not even related to Venom, and this one is just simply called Toxin 2, while Toxin 1 left him for dead. So this would indicate that Toxin 1 is actually the grandson of the Venom symbiote. And I bet we're probably going to be seeing Toxin 1 in Venom 4. But who will Toxin 1 bond with? Well, if you all remember in Venom The Last Dance, there is a flashback of Dr. Teddy Payne with her brother, who actually dies from a lightning strike. So I bet in Venom 4, Toxin 1 is going to find the corpse of Dr. Payne's brother that's been long dead, and is actually going to bond with him. And we'll be seeing Dr. Payne's brother as Toxin 1 going face-to-face with Venom and possibly Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, joining up with Morbius, Null, and Mr. Negative. And we could actually see other symbiotes that haven't been introduced in the franchise yet, like the Scream symbiote, the Mr. E symbiote, and all kinds of other symbiotes that we haven't gotten to know yet in the Venom franchise. So thank you all so much for watching. Please like, click the subscribe button and the notification bell, and make sure to comment if you can. Okay, signing out.